In the vast, sun-scorched deserts of North Africa, a different kind of war was waged. Beyond the thunder of tanks and the roar of planes, a silent, deadly game of shadows unfolded. This is the forgotten story of Operation Condor, a covert Allied intelligence mission that aimed to cripple the Axis war machine from within, a story buried for decades in classified archives. The year is 1942. North Africa is the linchpin of the Mediterranean dot for the Allies. Controlling it means opening a gateway to Europe. For the Axis, it's a critical source of supply and a strategic stronghold. General Erwin Rommel, the Desert Fox, and his Afrika Korps seem unstoppable. Allied command knew that conventional warfare alone might not be enough. They needed an edge, a secret weapon. Operation Condor was born out of desperation and genius. The team consisted of 3 others: a French radio expert nicknamed Sparks, a resourceful American cartographer called At. Their training was brutal, focusing on clandestine communication, sabotage techniques, and psychological resilience. They had to become invisible. The infiltration was harrowing. Under the cover of a moonless night, they were dropped by a low-flying, unmarked plane into the deep desert, hundreds of miles from friendly territory. The silence was absolute, broken only by the wind. From that moment, they were utterly alone. Their only link to the outside world was a compact, hand-cranked radio, their lifeline and their greatest liability. Every transmission was a roll of the dice, a beacon that could lead the enemy right to them. Their primary target was a network of supply depots fueling Rommel's tongue. A misplaced accent or a moment of hesitation could mean discovery, interrogation, and a quiet execution in the desert sands. They lived on a knife's edge, haunted by the constant fear of the Gestapo's notorious efficiency. Atlas would meticulously map enemy positions, sketching details on scraps of paper that looked like simple merchant's notes. Sparks would wait for the brief, prearranged windows to transmit the encrypted data, his heart pounding with every turn of the crank. They learned that the Axis was planning a massive offensive, codenamed Desert Storm, aimed at cutting off the British Eighth Army at El Alamein. This was the intelligence the Allies desperately needed. But as they gathered this critical information, the net began to close. Local informants, tempted by Axis rewards, grew suspicious. German patrols intensified their sweeps. The team had to move constantly, from hidden caves to the back rooms of sympathetic shopkeepers in remote villages. The desert, their initial ally, became a prison. The heat was relentless, water was scarce, and their nerves were frayed to the breaking point. One tense evening, while transmitting vital coordinates for an upcoming fuel shipment, Sparks detected a German direction-finding team sweeping their frequency. They were being hunted. In a heart-pounding escape, they abandoned their gear and split up, melting into the labyrinthine alleys of a nearby town, just as German soldiers swarmed their last known position. The margin of error was seconds. The intelligence they managed to send, fragmented as it was, proved invaluable. Acting on the coordinates provided by Operation Condor, Allied bombers launched a series of surgical strikes on key Axis fuel and ammunition dumps. The attacks were devastating. When Rommel launched his offensive, his panzer divisions literally ran out of gas. The unstoppable Desert Fox was stalled, his momentum broken. While the Battle of El Alamein is famous for the soldiers who fought on the front lines, the silent work of Griffin's team had already tipped the scales. The fate of the operatives themselves remains shrouded in mystery. Official records are sparse. It's believed Griffin and Atlas eventually made their way back to Allied lines after weeks of travel. The operator was never heard from again, a silent hero who paid the ultimate price. Their story is a powerful reminder that victory in war is not just won with armies, but with courage, intelligence, and immense personal sacrifice. These men were phantoms, their names absent from the grand monuments and history books. They operated in the shadows, their only reward the knowledge that their silent struggle had saved countless lives and helped shape the course of the war. They were the unseen gears in the great machine of history. If this hidden story moved you, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. More forgotten heroes are waiting to be remembered.